Yum, 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 yum.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Conversations with My Hungry Son. That little crunching and munching noise you heard at the start was my favorite co host and podcast partner, Kian, chewing on his little cereal bar. Hello, Kian.
Hi, I'm excited to be on this podcast, and this is about one of my favorite topics: food.
Food. Kian, this topic was entirely your idea, right? You
Oh
wanted to
yes.
discuss food with our listeners because it's very important and something we do a lot of in our house, and even when we travel and we see new places, we it's mostly about the food, you would think.
We go out to restaurants quite a lot, and we eat it's food, and you need food to live. So how can anyone avoid eating food?
Correct. That's actually a good point. you
And
you
you put
need
yummies too.
yeah, you need food to live, but also you like trying different stuff as well. But let me start with the basic question, Kian. Let's start with your favorite foods. What are the foods you like best?
Shabu shabu
Okay, so
udon.
let's tell our listeners what shabu shabu is.
Eh, it's like it has a soup with chewy noodles,
Yep.
and there's lots of veggies in it.
So it's fairly healthy, right? It's got a lot of veggies and sometimes meat and noodles and
And
things
there's
like
this
that.
place when I went to hot pot, and you get to cook your own one, and I added soup, meat, and all the things that my adds at home.
hmm So you got to cook your own shabu shabu. What else do you like? I know you have quite a few things, and we'll come to some of the other things you share in common with some of your favorite people. But what are some of the other foods you like?
I like pho. It's like this thing with also yummy soup and also chewy noodles, but and some meat, and but I don't think there's that many veggies.
So for those of you listening, you're realizing Kian's got a theme here. He likes lots of noodles and soupy dishes from Asia. Those are his favorite things he likes. So he's got shabu shabu, which is Japanese. He's got pho, which is Vietnamese. But Kian is also holding back some other stuff. I think he likes many European foods as well, right?
I do. I like pizza. I
There
like
you go.
pasta.
Oh, pizza. Tell us which one's your favorite pizza, Kian.
Papa John's
Yeah, but no, I meant which
flavors.
flavors? Yeah, sorry.
Cheese, pepperoni, and I forgot what it's called, but I think it's salami.
Salami. Ooh,
My
those are
tongue. I see.
those are delicious. Then he likes pizza. I heard him
Poppy,
say
what's the place that where you go to get pizzas? Where they only give pizzas?
only pizzas.
Yeah, not Papa John's, the other one.
Antonini's.
Yes,
Locally
that
where we
one's
are
the one
based,
where they give salami.
we love Antonino's pizza. So for those of you listening, that's his other favorite. Then he mentioned pasta as well, Kian. You do like pasta a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's the kind of pasta you like?
Um, Tomato sauce with any type of pasta in
Mm,
it.
wow. There's another kind of pasta you like too, which
Mm.
you share with your favorite football player.
Um, I also like carbonara, and the one who I really the Mbappe. That's also Mbappe's favorite food.
So Kylian Mbappe and Kian and Killian love pasta carbonara. So just in case you ever want to invite Kian to dinner, you know what his favorite foods are. All right, Kian. Since we're on the topic of footballers, I want to ask you your other favorite football player or your more favorite football player, Lionel Messi. Do you know what his favorite foods are?
It he likes sweet stuff like most kids as well,
Mm.
and I forgot the other dish that we just
I think it's
googled about.
steak, right? It was
I
a kind
think
of a
so.
steak, and then he did mention pasta as well, and then he mentioned ice cream.
Ice cream, yes.
So those are all things Kian likes. So Kian's on his way to emulating his footballers in more ways than one, not just about the football, which he's by the way gotten much better and very good at now.
I'm practicing my rainbow flicks.
Rainbow flicks for those of you that are listening. But he's now a big fan and he's following his favorite footballers' diets. Okay, Kian. So if someone was to invite you to dinner and they told you I'd want to make four dishes, what would be the four dishes they would make for you? So if it can be a main course,
Udon shabu shabu.
udon, shabu shabu, and two more, and you get a
No,
choice.
udon shabu shabu is the same thing.
Udon, shabu shabu. Okay, one,
Pho.
four, two.
Hmm.
You could have a dessert in there too if you want.
Dessert. E- Dessert will be chocolate cake.
Chocolate cake, and what else?
mm, and chocolate cake and what is the starter? What could the starter be? Garlic bread.
Garlic bread. Oh my goodness, that's a delicious meal. So, guys, girls, if you're inviting Kian to dinner, you know what you need to have now for him to be fully satisfied. Because they say
Cake.
the key to or the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. So if you're making your way to Kian's heart, you need to do it through his stomach and a good dinner.
No, not through. It's not usually through my stomach.
Kian, okay, so we've done your favorite football players, their diets, your foods. Let's do your least favorite foods. Can you tell me maybe two that you really don't enjoy or you really don't like?
There was this thing where I had tofu in it, where there was this really disgusting sauce on it. And there was this also topping on it that I really didn't like, and I skipped it and didn't even have dinner.
Uh-oh. So tofu with some disgusting sauce. Okay, that's one he doesn't like.
The disgusting sauce, Mama likes it. Mama loves that, but I don't like.
Oh, I think this is tofu agidashi that Kian is not a big fan of. It's another Japanese dish in case you're missing it. But that's one that Kian doesn't like. What else, Kian? I know when you go to school there are certain things you don't like there as well. But are there other dishes you really, really, really don't like that you don't want?
Fish cake.
Fish cakes. Oh, but hold on. Let's go. Let's discuss this a little bit because I know in school there's a particular type of fish that you really enjoy. What's that?
Fish fingers, and the fish cake was the substitute for fish fingers.
But you like fish fingers, which is your Friday fish and chips in school, right?
Yes.
Can you tell me a bit about your school diet? Like, what do they give you when you go to school on a normal day for lunch?
Previously, they gave me a sausage roll. And when I don't like the other orders, I just do hot tomato pasta because there are a few orders that go anytime, that go all the time, that
All through
they're
the
never
week.
there,
Mm,
that they're never not there.
got it.
So I can
And
always pick one of those if I don't like them.
and what else? What
Then
else do they give you in school?
there's a sandwich, and we can order whatever we want at home.
Okay. But you also get the choice of so when you do your school meals, I know they're pretty good about like having different options, but also giving you a balanced meal. So you also have a choice of a salad usually.
A salad?
Yeah, or some veggies.
No, we don't have a choice of that. But we do have when we get there, we have a choice of pudding.
Pudding. Oh, dessert. You mean? For our non-UK listeners, it's dessert, right?
I like dessert. I like saying dessert better.
Okay. So what are your dessert choices in school? What do you like?
Friday, there's usually ice cream. There's always fruit.
Whoa. You okay there?
Yeah, there's sometimes biscuits.
Biscuits. Okay. And what
I
else?
really like the biscuits. And when there was this one time, and previously on the same day as we had the sausage roll, there was this biscuit which had chocolate swirling in with it, which had this like chocolate topping on it. It wasn't like chocolate. It was the chocolate was like a little bit of chocolate biscuit and like the usual biscuit.
Okay. So you're like Messi. You like all the sweet stuff, eh? Cool. Kian, let me ask you a creative question. So if you had to recreate the world and rebuild the world with food, how would you do it? Could you describe it to somebody?
I think I would. So all the most of land. Some of the land could be the back of a cereal bar, and
Oh, the land would be a cereal bar. Okay.
a little bit of it only, and the rest of the land would be maybe. I have an idea. Maybe the rest of the land could be
Chocolates.
chocolate. Good
Oh,
idea. No, chewing gum.
chewing gum. Okay.
Go that way, because that
But it might be sticky,
a
People
very long
might get
chewing
their
gum.
hands and legs stuck in it then.
No, because because the chewing gum only unless someone bites the whole thing, and there will be a very big chewing gum. It will become only sticky,
Mm,
and it will have bitter on it, so people will not. No, it won't have bitter, but it will easily be replaced if
right.
it gets all sticky. So
Okay. So you got chewing gum, you got cereal bar. What would the oceans be made of?
juice and soup.
Wow, juice and soup. And what would the buildings be made of if you had all these tall buildings and houses and stuff? What would that be made of?
Hmm.
Pasta?
Mm, the pasta is gonna the noodles is gonna be for there's gonna be noodle boats.
Noodle boats. Ah, cool. So they'd be swimming in the soupy waters or the juicy waters.
Yes,
Nice.
and the noodle boats are there's gonna be like there won't be boats. There'll only be noodle rafts.
Right. Okay.
But on so you can't go out on the sea on very stormy weather. So and the buildings would be made of what would come out of the tap would be hot chocolate,
Oh, that would be amazing.
and the concrete would be made out of melted chocolate.
Oh,
And
but wouldn't that melt everywhere?
no, the melted chocolate's already melted,
Ah, melted chocolate. Okay, got it.
and the bricks would be sweets.
Kian, this sounds like a delicious world to be a part of.
Grass would be mint blades.
Wow, this sounds like Willy Wonka's world. Actually,
Yes.
isn't this one of your favorite books that you're imagining this from?
Yes.
I know, Kian. We talked about books a few weeks ago, and we didn't mention Willy Wonka or Charlie and
We did. We did.
we did mention Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and I asked you about you envisioning things, so I can see how the creativity or the ideas from the book come into your real world. So, if you were to build a world, you would create it like Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory.
Yes.
Amazing. That's a world we all would love to live in. Okay, Kian, I'm going to ask you one more question, and then we'll sort of turn it to you to ask me questions. Um, but when we travel, you've tried so many different foods, and you've been to so many different countries now. Um, how do you go into those countries? As a child, you've never tried some of these things. So, what is your view, say, when you go to a new country and you have to try something new? Are you excited? Are you nervous?
Sometimes I don't like the food. Sometimes I'm like meh with the food because I don't like. Because sometimes when I taste it, it's a bit. I don't really like it. Sometimes I really like it, and sometimes I can eat it, but it's not my favorite thing.
Right. But then if say you go to a new country and you don't like the cuisine on the whole, what do you end up doing? Do you then resort to just like burgers and pizza and pasta in that country too? Do we have to end up finding that kind of stuff for you?
Usually, but that doesn't often happen.
Right,
That doesn't often happen.
because you're usually a good traveler and you try everything new, right?
But shall I tell you the favorite place where to get waffles? And it was
Yes, please tell us where.
Amsterdam. This is in the day that I did.
Yes. So the previous episode, Kian talked about his home or a lone day in the city, and he mentioned the Dutch waffles. So that still remains high on his food agenda.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And there's just I also like the food in um personally I'd say Italy
Italy, of
because that's
course,
all
the
the
home.
pizza, pasta. I think.
Yes, that's the home of pizza and pasta, so you would naturally love that. Okay, Kian. All right, that's great. I think you're generally very
And
good.
and I also like the cereal bars.
By the way, if you haven't realized, Kian's been chewing on his cereal bar, thinking about all this food. So we didn't want him to go hungry, so we got him the cereal bar while he was doing this episode. So you hear the little munching and crunching from the little boy. All right, Kian, what do you got for me? We have a few more minutes on this episode. What on this yummy and delicious episode? What do you got for me?
What would you make the world out of if you were to make it out of food?
Oh, Kian, it's a very good question. So, I'm a big food fan. I love food, but I also love desserts, right? Like you, I've got a very sweet tooth, or um, many sweet teeth in my mouth. So, I love desserts. So, I would imagine a world of chocolate rivers and boats that are made of waffles and buildings that are made of candy and the mint blades. I love the idea of that. I'd love trees like that are lollipops that you can go and suck them
Ooh!
up. And then just to balance it a bit, maybe we would have some other sort of nice foods in there, like maybe some pasta, maybe some pizza. I love seafood, so I could still do with
Shrimp swimming in the
the
water.
shrimps and the fish and the tuna and all of that swimming in the water.
And they're edible anyway, so you don't need to change them.
Correct, exactly. So you just fish them out, they're dipped in chocolate already, and you just eat them up. That would be an amazing world, wouldn't it?
Oh yes. What was your favorite treat when you were little?
What's my favorite?
Treat when you were little.
Favorite treat? Um, I love chocolates. I loved all kinds of chocolates. In India, when we were growing up, we had we didn't have a lot of variety of chocolates, but we had local chocolates, and Cadbury's Dairy Milk remains my all-time favorite. But we had this also made by Cadbury's, this like chewy caramelly bar called Five Star. That used to be my favorite chocolate. I think we still get it in India, and the next time I'm there, I'm gonna make you try some. But that used to be my favorite treat.
Hmm. There's also kulfi though in India.
Oh, kulfi ice cream! Oh my goodness, Kian, you are making me want more and more dessert. I'm gonna say let's go get some dessert somewhere now. but
When we go to India, we can get some.
I
of that.
love kulfi.
It's almost Easter, so
I know it's gonna be yummy. We're gonna eat so much food. But I love kulfi. I love desserts. I love ice cream. So thank you for reminding me.
it's great. I don't have any more questions.
Okay, Kian. So this is a yummy, delicious episode. But typically, in your way, do you have a yummy, delicious tip or piece of advice for our little listeners everywhere? What would you say when it comes to food?
If you ever want if you ever want food, like if you ever want a candy on Easter or any special day, even if it's on a weekday, just ask your parents, and then I think they'll say go ahead, but don't try and sneak out. Don't try and sneak out any food if you don't eat something. Don't try and sneak out any unhealthy food if you haven't eaten your something first.
That's good advice. You need to eat your healthy food before you try to sneak in with that candy and other stuff. And for those of you that used to follow wrestling in the 80s and 90s, Hulk Hogan used to always tell kids to eat their vitamins, and it's kind of like that: eat your healthy food, and then you can be allowed to get your treats and candy and stuff like that. But parents usually don't mind it so long as the kids listen to them in other aspects and try different kinds of foods and eat their normal healthy food, right?
Yes.
Cool. All right, Kian, on that delicious note, I'm going to go get myself something yummy to eat, and we'll let our listeners go because their mouths are watering too, probably.
This
Right?
time, you do the corn.
Oh, no, thank you. That's yours. Bye bye. Have a happy, healthy, and delicious week. We'll see you next week.
Bye!